Hello, hello, hello. Hi, guys. Hello. How's everybody doing today? I am here. I've got my camera face down again, just so I can not have to mess with setting the camera up for you guys today. I'm painting on a fairly large piece of paper today, and this is a really thick but really smooth, I believe it's watercolor. Maybe it's mixed media. I don't know. It's watercolor paper. It's the Strathmore cold press, so it's very smooth watercolor paper. That's what I am, painting, not so much painting, drawing on today. We are going to be working with oil pastels. So let me show you the tools I have to me. And so you maybe if you don't have oil pastels, you can do this with paint, or maybe you want to wait to do it later. But I can tell you, if you are coming to the retreat, I will be doing this again at the retreat because I just had to change my plans. I have an eraser, a gum eraser, and a pencil. That's to start with. I have torn up pieces of paper towel. That's, hi Jen, torn up pieces of paper towel. And then I have a whole set of pastels. Okay. So I've got the whole gamut of colors. Ooh, I need to go get another set of these. My plans just changed for the retreat, so we will actually be doing something very similar to this during the retreat, because I had a big, huge plan to do some big painting, but it's not going to work out, it turns out. Let's see, I also have, can't wait to see you, in a little bit over a week, Jen. I also have some Q-tips, okay? These are, I got these at of all places, a auto part. No, it's not. It wasn't an auto part store. It was a woodworking store. But I saw this bag of all different sizes. They look like medical Q-tips, right? And they are, but they were there. And then I got, these are blenders, okay, or paint erasers. So these, when you're working with oil paints, it will take the paint right off, or if you go a little bit more softly with it, it will blend it, right? And so oil pastels are really pretty much oil paint, right? It's oil. So, and then we fix it. Oh, and then I have some acrylic paint to use in the end. And then that's that. But what we're doing is we're going to do something similar to this, okay? Very similar, but I'm going to just do a different face and maybe a different design for her little head wrap and flowers, but very similar to this, you know, something different down here. But I like this idea of giving some, you know, strong woman energy vibes. This one was painted on brown paper, and I really like the effect, but I wanted to do a bigger one, so I have white paper. I didn't go buy new paper. So we're going to get started. So, I made a little traced template for my head, because getting that head shape for me is the biggest part of the battle. And the way I did it is I just drew one side, and I like the shape, and then I folded the paper in half and cut it. So that way I know I really like symmetry in these warrior girls. And so I wanted to do that. So I'm going to show you how to get the perfect symmetry in her face as well. And if you're here, say hi. I know I can see Jen's here. So, but I don't see any comments. And sometimes they take a long time to get here. It says to bring you on camera, Jen. I'm very stressed. Swipe left to reveal comments. Okay. It's so hard for me to understand. There we are. Hi, Monica. I have a lot of stress right now. I just met with the owner of the Bingham, and she's a lovely lady, and she loves her property so much. She's so worried about it. So she asked me way too many questions. All right, there's my alien. Okay? As simple as that. Alien face. Okay? But just draw half of it, whatever shape you want. Maybe you don't want a squared off chin. I did. And then go from there. So I have her kind of lower on the paper because I want to put a lot of like floral stuff up, you know. So now I'm just going to draw her neck in. Floral stuff on the top. And then she'll get a little shoulder action. Make sure it's not too off center. Okay, so let's go for it. So what you want to do is you want to put your ruler right in the middle of the face, which is right there, and you want to draw a line down the middle. Okay, and then halfway in between there, so I'm going to measure that, and that is 8 and almost 8.5. So I'm going to do 4 1/4. So I'm going to go down 4 1/4. And it looks weird, like you would think that that's not where they're going to go, but that's where the middle of the eyes are going to go. It looks so low, right? Okay. And you know, for these, I've seen them, Warrior Girls, like, I didn't make this up, right? You guys know that. I've seen them where the eyes are really wide or they're very narrow. Okay, so that's, the eyes are gonna go here. Okay, and so what I do is I go like, so her nose is gonna be about that wide, right? And so the middle of her eyeball is gonna come probably about halfway in between. Her nose is that wide, and the middle of the eyeball is going to be right there. I just eyeballed this. It's funny because we're talking about eyeballs, but this is a bigger painting, so let me make that a little bit bigger. Okay, then halfway in between there and there is where the tip of the nose is going to be. So I have 4 inches. So the tip of the nose is going to be right here. And I'm going to give her a little bit of, I like the way I did the nostrils. There's so many different ways. So those are just little nostril holes. This is that like squared off nose, you know, even though she's not looking, she's not facing sideways. It's just a way to do this. It's just kind of like part of the, I don't know. But for this one, I'm going to do my old ovaries trick, and I'll show that to you. You just draw ovaries. So that's what I did. I'm just drawing ovaries. Now, I want that to be really light because I just don't even want that to really show that much. Okay. All right. And then there's just maybe a little like that, but more so I'm going to do this. Even looks more like an alien right now. So then halfway in between the tip of the nose and the chin is the middle of her lips. So that's at the one, not the top of her lips, the middle of her lips. So it's always the middle, right? Okay. Okay. I don't know why it takes a comment so long, right, to come. So I'm just going to draw a little bit of a line here. And then I'm going to shape her some, give her some shaped lips. Let's go down. Let's make them more full. There. Okay. So then I'm going to erase all these lines. And then we're going to get started. So I did, you know, a couple years ago we did this and I got into a groove and I painted a ton of these ladies and I love doing them. I mean, I really, really do. They're fun. They are supposed to be warrior girls, and it's supposed to be a symbol of feminine energy, feminine strength, which you know I'm all about, right? So that's why I was like, this is what we're going to do. Now, it turns out that what I was going to do for the retreat, I can't do because the owner is really freaked out about it. She's freaked out about the mess I would possibly be making. Okay, so we're going to get her, we're going to make this look more normal. Really wide head. So I'm going to narrow this a little bit because it looks like that egg I drew went a little wide. So from here, we're going to go, instead of going wide, we're going to go up. There, that's better. Little less wide, right? Okay, so from here, I'm going to just draw in the lines that are going to go just right over her, or we won't even see any of these lines. All right, so we're going to start with the oil pastels. All right, so oil pastels are super fun. I think it's my new favorite medium. I've been playing with them a lot lately and experimenting. There's just so much you can do with them. They layer, they dry faster than oil paint. You can just spray it. Hi, Jerry Ann. Hi, Gail. You can just spray a medium over it, whatever you want, you know. And so it's super, all these colors. I'm going to start with the lightest peach that I have, and then I'm going to show you how I get it blended. So I'm anywhere where I want it to be really white, I'm not going to paint over. But we're gonna just start with her face or draw over. This is so fun because it's just literally scribbling. Getting it on. Okay, this one might take a little bit longer because it's a little bit bigger than the ones I've done. And I'm not gonna worry about shading or anything. This one I just wanna get on. So also, you might want to have a hair dryer, especially if it's cold out or cold where you are. If it's warm and you're in the sun, oof, these things get all melty. And then they really glide on. So I'm going to get her, and I'm going to get her neck too. Let's pretend like she has a top on here. It's gonna look really bad before it starts looking good. That is for sure. But that's the way it goes, isn't it? So you can take makeup sponges, you can take blender brushes. I'm going to heat this up with a hair dryer right now, and I will probably just take a paper towel, or I'll use, since this is a bigger area, I'll use this bigger blender brush, but I've got those like that. Okay, but I'm gonna heat that up. You can use your fingers. Once you get a lot on there, I mean, this little hair dryer even made it bubble. It made it go wet. Okay, so we'll start with this. This is the easiest. So I just cut a whole bunch of pieces, or ripped a whole bunch of pieces, and I'm just going to start blending it out. So she's full of this color, and there's very little paper showing through. This also makes it dry faster, but this is so, there's so much yummy texture when you use these. I love, like, that's why I'm liking it a lot. But yeah, when you blend it out like this, it makes it dry faster. See how easy that is? Woo, so easy. Let me try this again. that's really going to move. Or now that was on high, I should say. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more of that color and blend it in some more, and then we're going to go with, whoops, that's not that same color. See? That's funny. That was another color. That's okay, it'll blend. And then I'm going to show you how how easy it is to shade with this. Like, this is such a fun meeting. I never knew until recently. And you don't need to use a hairdryer, but our house is very cold because David likes it cold. So. Shading. Just where there would be shading. Again, not that I really need to be correct, but just, you know. Okay. And one of these little, any of these little tools will work, you'll see. See, I can just drag it down, smooth it around. Or you can do it with your fingers. Right here. Your fingers work good because they're warm and it creates warmth on there. The white, I like the white going up and down the nose. Whoops, there's green on my finger. Okay, so let's stop now. Let me rub that out and then redo it. How I got green on my finger, I don't know. Okay. Isn't this fun, you guys? Oh, I love it. Okay, now I'm going to start with some colors. So we're going to get her eyeballs in. Let's just do a dab of black. Where's the black? The black is hard to find. We're going to do the black right here at the, right there, and right there. And then I'm going to go back to that white. I should have done the white first here. So I didn't get the black in it, but that's okay. Or so I didn't get the white in the black. But that's okay, because that's what's so fun about these is they're never like realistic looking. They're just so full of character. Then I'm just going to use this to kind of smear the eyes around. I'm not even going to smear the white out because I just want it to be chunky in there. Okay, so she's coming alive already, you guys, isn't she? I'm gonna get more black. More black. Come on, I wish these would just come out easier. That's my only issue is they don't come out easy. Okay. And this little tiny nubby, blend this underneath her nose. And maybe just, I don't know if I like the way that looks. Well, we'll go over it. Maybe just a little line here. There we go. All right. Okay. More color. Let's do this. See, it's super fun, super quick, but we haven't even gotten to the fun part. And of course, look at this, matches my nail polish perfectly, so that's going on. I'm gonna make the bottom lip lighter, top lip heavier. Let's get the light pink. And I can blend those together. See how fun that is, how it just blends? And if you press really hard with the ones that are scrapers, you can scrape a lot off. And I'm just going to show you that in a little bit. I'm going to show you how you can like make lines and stuff in it. It does smear, so if you have chunks, you know, you gotta be careful. So like I'm just gonna smooth some of this out. Because if you have big chunks, you just gotta be careful. But I like a lot of the texture to show. Okay. All right. So when I look at this, like I put this sometimes like this wrap I put to the side, right? So I did the flowers in here first and all that. And so it's not showing on this side. This one I'm going to do in the middle and kind of flowers around. So I'm just going to mark off where I'm going to have kind of her wrap. And then where I want the flowers to start. And then let's say I want the flowers to kind of pop in right here. I'm going to get rid of this line here because we don't need it anymore because it's going to be covered with flowers. And that one's way too small. The flowers are probably the most fun part because they're so easy. Yeah, there we go. Maybe erase some of that line. Erase some right here. Okay, and then we're going to have some leaves coming out. Maybe some earrings. Okay, so there we go. We got that sketch going on, right? Hi, Lisa. How are you? Another beautiful soul I'm going to see soon. Okay, so let's get going. We're going to start with some dark middles of some of these flowers. So I'm just going to go in here. Not all of them will get this purple treatment, but a few of them. Okay, and I'm going to start with that flower. So let's just go. This is the fun part. So I just want to get, I'm really pressing hard. I want to get a lot of this bright color on here. Gosh, is that such a beautiful color? Because when I smear it, it's going to smooth out, and then we're going to start layering it. I think this one too. Today, Lisa, I'm going to be doing this at the retreat. So everybody will have a chance. Okay, so I'm going to use this because this is just a real. But see how nice that blends? Isn't that cool? And then I got this beautiful texture in here. That's what it's gonna look like. So if there's anything I love, it's orange right next to magenta. I love it. And then we'll get some yellow ones in there in a bit. Oh, there's too much. I need a magenta flower down here, I think. Yes, I do. At least one. Let's do this one. Okay. And an orange one down here. Okay. Red in the middle of that one, and then we're gonna blend that. Okay, so if you don't have one of these, all you do is take a paintbrush handle or whatever you have, or you can just do your fingers, or you can just wad it up like this, and you're gonna get the same effect. See, the exact same thing. So you don't need the special tools that I had. It's just handy, so I use it. Isn't that pretty? Okay, I should have gotten that on first. Okay, but that's okay. And I will show you how I will, let's get the yellows on. And before I start blending those flowers, I'm gonna want to, let's get yellow. So let's get the orange middle for the yellow flowers. The yellow's gonna make everything pop. And then I'm going to cover this paper in black as well, and that'll make it pop. Okay, same thing, blend. Here, I'm just gonna blend the middles because I don't feel like going around them. Okay, let's get some turban in, and then we're gonna add some dimension to those flowers, the leaves, and all that. But let's get some turban action in. So I'm just gonna do this. And then bring a stripe of this color up and around. Up and around. Don't really have to really think about it. Maybe I don't want that blue right there. Love this purple. Let's do purple next to her skin here. See, the colors are blending a little bit. That's gonna be fun. And this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous color here. Fails with that one. Here, it means I have to make it bigger. Let's get a light blue in there. See, so you can layer these, so I can put that light blue right on that, on top of that dark blue, and then you're gonna get like this beautiful blending effect. And we're gonna do that right now with the flowers. Let's get this light blue in here. And let's layer something onto that teal. Let's do another, let's do a light teal on top of that teal. Okay, and I'm gonna put yellow in the middle here. And that is gonna blend with the blue and give me a green. All right, let's see, what's next? Let's blend this in. Okay, so I'm gonna just take my blender brush and for this one, so this actually, there's so much on there, it'll actually take it off, so I would rather just smooth it out like this. That's not working for me either. You said yellow before I added it. Maybe you're getting the color. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Jen. You're getting the color thing after all, huh? Okay, see how that is, I don't know if you can see how this is blending. I know I'm not going to put the blues and the greens onto the purple because I don't want it to blend that much, but I'm just blending the blues and the greens here. And it gives me a smoothness, but then I still have texture and I have some overlapping, and it's just lovely. I'm going to go right down there and do this too. Just let some of those colors get in there. Lots of paper towels, but cut into little tiny pieces. Okay, so I'm just going to smooth out some of this purple. And the more you smooth it out, the faster it is to dry, but you can also add stuff over it, right? Okay, so that's what we're going to do with the flowers right now. Okay, so I'm going to go in with a very, very pale pink on here and start making some forms of the flower. But I'm going to fill in some of this too. And that, I will take the blender brush, the rubber brush, and I don't really like that. I think I'm going to probably go over it with white. When I go over it with white, I know I'll like it. Now it probably would have been easier to go in with pale pink and add the dark pink on top. Okay, so watch when I go with white. Dinner tonight. I've cooked dinner the last 2 Mondays in a row, and I told him, that's too much. After I do a tutorial, I'm not cooking dinner anymore. He will always do it, but I was offering. Okay, see how that white just made it pop? Woo! I love it. Okay. So on the orange, I think what I'll do is I'll go with, I don't know. Let me see if this shows up. Oh yeah, it does. This is the peach color that I did with her face. And on the yellows, I'm going to go in with orange. Isn't that cool, you guys? All right, let's get some leaves on. I'm going to start with this one. I'm just starting with this color because we're going to add colors. But I'm going to show you what you can do when you get a lot of this on, okay? A lot. I mean a lot. Okay, this leaf down here I want to be a different base color. So let's go. Okay, so I'm going to just start layering colors in here. Different colors of pastels. Here's a really bright green. And then I'll get a, wow, what happened there? I'm going to have to move that leaf to look like that. Oh, here's another leaf. Let's get a bright blue in there. So I'm putting a lot of pastel on this for a reason. I'm going to show you why in a moment. Let's get some of that teal in there. The more you put on, the more it's going to blend. It's so easy to work with, you guys, this stuff. I was so scared of this. Goodness gracious, it's so fun. Okay. So I'm going to blend it up a little bit, right? I'm going to, where's my bigger blenders. Okay, so see how I'm doing that? It's giving me brush strokes, like paint brush strokes. And I can sharpen this edge of the leaf up, bring it down in here. But this is not it. This is not it. This is not what I'm talking about. Okay, there's a lot of stuff on there. Wait till you guys see this. Excited about it. For this, you do need these kind of, no, you don't. You could use other tools, the blender brushes. Okay, so I'm gonna heat it up just a little bit. You ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? We'll start with this one. Nice and hot. Okay, so this is a pointy thing. They're called blender brushes. They're rubber. This is also a blender brush. You guys, you've seen this. So watch this. I can write in here. Can you guys see that? You can't because it's not coming out. Let me do it. Scrapey. Here we go. So I'm writing beast because she's beast mode. Okay, but to do that, you want to have a lot of, can you guys see it where it says? Okay, so then the other thing I can do is, and I don't really need to heat it up, but it just makes it easier to move the stuff around. Yeah, I got them at Hobby Lobby. If you can, there's silicone blender brushes. You can get them on. So now I can move this, all this, and make, can you guys see that? Make veining in the leaves. But again, remember, I'm pulling it around, so see these little chunks. You want to take those off or put them or blend them in somewhere else. So like, see, I can just put it in like that. But if they're sticking up and you wipe against them, they will smear. Now if you're coming, see how I'm making lines in that? I'm just pressing really hard with the blender. Make a lot of texture in these leaves. And just scrape scribbles in them, you know, whatever you want. Of course, it's going to work better if you have a different color underneath, like 2 colors. One color's light, one color's dark. Okay, I'm going to blend this guy down here with my blender brush. And I didn't put her clothing on. It's her shirt. Okay, so I'm going to try to get some of this off because there's all sorts of chunks on that down there. You can just also do this. What am I doing here? All right, I'm going to add some green in between those little in here, just so it just looks like, you know, the green is popping up. There's a lot of green behind here. And then I'm going to add some black to this painting. But I did want to give her some jewelry or something like that down here. So let's do that. What color? Purple, because there's only purple up there, so let's bring purple down. So there's only purple up here, so we got to bring it down. So let's say we're just going to give her a purple necklace. Purple beads. Okay, and I'm going to blend those, and then I'm going to give it some highlighting. So with highlighting, I would just go in. I'm going to wait for it to dry a little bit, but oh no, let's do highlighting with this magenta. It's pretty. Okay, let's give her a top. What color top? Let's do pale blue. We don't even have any pale blue here. And then I'm going to outline her face. I chose this side. This is 11 by 17, this size, because I have a frame. That's a gold frame that I'm going to put her in. Okay, so I definitely want to blend out this blue. So that's a big area, so I'm just going to do this. Okay, so yeah, see that just makes it dry really quick when you do it like that. So it's kind of cool. I'm going to give that top some stripes. And then what I'm going to do, that's pretty. So she's got stripes in her top. See that color, this color against that color? I don't always talk about it, but I do always think about it, right? I'm always thinking about that. What colors are going to look good? We're going to add some outlining now. We will be using some paint. Now I'm going to smooth all of that outlining out everywhere where I did the blue and the black, and I'm going to add more colors for outline. So I'm just going to use this little brush. Again, you don't need this brush. You can use paint brushes. You can use, like I said, the paper towel wrapped around stuff. You don't have to have these, but they're not expensive. I just noticed I didn't get her neck. And then I'm going to get a fixative. So I have a fixative and I'm going to spray it. And what that is going to enable me to do, I didn't really need to outline this in black because I'm going to put black paint on here. What the fixative is going to enable me to do is put that black acrylic paint on here without making it bleed too much, meaning when the acrylic touches the wax, it's not going to bubble or bleed or anything like that. Okay. Now, I always like not just black outlines. I like to add some color in spots so it just doesn't look boring. Ooh, let's get some of this pink on here. I like her. She needs more black in her eyeball though. Okay, so if you guys want to, you've seen them at Hobby Lobby, yay! It's going to take me about 2 minutes to go and spray this with fixative. I just go in the garage, spray it, and come back. It'll be dry by the time I get back. So, okay, so just count 2 minutes. I'll be back. Okay, who stayed with me? I lost one person. Okay, so I brought the fixative so I can show you the fixative. This is the fixative. It's not for oil, and I did buy one that's for oil, which is $30. That's only $10. But I've been experimenting, and it did work with this. So let's just go with it because it's only $10 versus $30. Black paint. Now, I have not, so I've seen a lot of these warrior girls, and I've not seen a lot with black paint. So, and when I did it with black paint, I was like, oh, I really like it. But of course, you want to slow down. It's going to cover up a multitude of sins, right? And I'm not doing the line from the earring because I'll do that over the black paint. There's a little white showing, that's okay because that's what we have our oil pastels standing by. But this just allowed me to get right up close to the oil pastel and even touch it without it. Normally it would, if I didn't put the fixative on it, it would bleed away from it. Okay, And also, what I can do now is if I need to paint over any of the pastels, I can do that. But I can still smear them. I can still blend them out. I can still, no, I can't. They won't blend anymore. I lied. But I can add more pastels over, or anything now, really. So I can add anything over it. But I believe that this black pop just makes her stand out. I'll get a smaller brush to get into some of those areas. Thanks you guys for sticking by with me while I went to spray. Who stayed? Then I will show you what I'm doing. So I'm going to make a whole series of these because it does really go well with my brand, I have to say. So, and I enjoy doing them. Whenever I find something I enjoy doing, it's going to have to turn into a series because I got to spend my time doing the things I enjoy doing, right? They'll all be a little bit different, but they're going to have the same vibe. Okay, let me go over that fast, and then I'll get a smaller brush to get around in there. Get up in there. Don't really care about that line being perfect. We'll just get the big areas and I'll get a smaller brush. Okay. Yup, she's beastly. She looks like a beast to me. Okay, smaller brush, more control. But see, it's not, I'm going right over it, so I'm really kind of giving myself some way. If I didn't put that fixative on there, it would be fine. It would just be pulling away. So if you are still here, I have also been experimenting with AI, not the bad kind of AI, but I've been using it for some things, right? So one of them was the last painting that I did like this. I was like, so all I did, I downloaded Chat GPT and it's free, and I just have the free version. So I encourage you guys to do that because it is technology that is going to, there's a lot of good uses for it, right? I know everybody's afraid of AI, but there's a lot of good uses of it. And it's just like any technology. If you don't stay up with it, you're going to be missing out on some stuff, you know, like I used to tell my husband, who does not know how to deposit a check with his phone, right? And I said, you better keep up with it, right? Because you're going to find yourself not knowing things, right? And not understanding how to do things because it's not going to wait for you. Anyways, there's a lot of good uses for it. But one of them was, I just said, give me some words describing a woman. And then that's where I got all of these words, right? Oh, we don't have, she doesn't have any cheeks. That's where I got all of these words. And then it said, it gave me a whole bunch of words and it said, would you like more inspirational, or would you like this, or would you like this? And so it was literally asking me for more details, right? And I was like, oh, this is so fun. I love it. And it is fun. So try it. Man, the cheeks are what make her look fun. Pink cheeks, and those pink cheeks are going to get an extra highlight. I'm going to use my Q-tip blender. Isn't that pretty? Let's put a little bit of extra magenta in there. Well, that didn't do anything, did it? Let's put some white in there, in her cheeks. And then let's put some white right there on her lip. Okay. There we go. Fun. All right, so, and now once this dries, I can draw over it and I can make more. But I did like what I did with the other one. But now I can go in with my Posca markers. Let's see if this is silver. Is this silver? Yeah. And let me make sure it's, ooh, okay. Just making a little chain here. All right, so I don't think I got a lot of fixative on there because it's trying to peel away, but it will. If I just let it dry without swiping it, it will do well. But you can go in with anything that you want as long as you have enough fixative in it. And I think the fixative for oil paint is going to be better than this. Yeah, it's pulling away. It doesn't like it. Look at that. Okay, but I'm going to draw her the line from there to there. I'm going to do that with that silver marker. So this is going to be earring chain. I know I can draw on the acrylic paint. Cute. And then the last and final thing is just to add all of the white words. But I don't think I'm going to do that with you on here because I think that would be super boring. But if you've not used Chat GPT or any of the chat bots, or, I mean, if you have Canva, you have it, right? So you don't even have to, if you have Canva Pro, I should say, you have it. So you don't need to get a new one. But Chat GPT is free. So, but try it. It's also, you can, oh my gosh, you guys, it's crazy. In Chat GPT, so you can I can upload this picture and say, please describe this painting for me, and it will. I can say, name this painting for me, and it'll give me, or I can say, give me some ideas of names, and it will. And I can't even tell you how shocked I was when I put in the painting of my lion, my last tiger that I did, and it described it like, it with such a detailed, cool description that I would never come up with. And then it asks if it wants to change the tone. So basically, do you want it to be, thank you, Jerry. Basically, do you want it to be more lighthearted, or do you want it, so that way, if it doesn't sound like me, I can make it sound like me. And then, of course, I can copy it and I can add my own words. And I literally told it, and it starts to learn you too, so that's cool. I literally told it to use the word rad, because I use the word rad a lot, and it did. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. Anyways, so try it. I needed it because I was getting stumped coming up with more words to describe women, and it helped me a lot, and it was super cool. But I might add more fixative and then go in with like some markers or whatever. But so far, I like the way it's working. All right. Okay, you guys, thank you. That was fun. I'll turn it around so I can see you. Yay, there you are. Thanks, you guys, and I will see you. Well, I'll see a lot of you soon, and some of you I won't see as soon, but that means I'll see you later. Okay? Bye, you guys.